My name is Pilkington. I'm a Christian counsellor and a psychotherapist. And for the last 2 years I've been involved in a hearing and an appeal hearing with my professional body, BACP, British Association of Counselling and Psychotherapy, because a complaint was made by a so-called client against me, which had been upheld by my professional body. Now, we have received the decision today, and they have found against me. I find this both, to some extent, is what we expected, but at the same time it's also very distressing. Mainly because this individual who came up to me at a conference said that he was distressed and unhappy with his homosexuality and wanted help with a change, wanted to explore his heterosexual potential. Now, it became very clear after 2 sessions that in fact all of this was a lie, that he was in fact, as he said, he was an undercover journalist whose real name was Patrick Strudwick, although he told me his name was Matthew Stins, and that he wanted to expose me and people like me. He very clearly had a bigger agenda, and that is to expose therapists who work with the possibility of change, both secular and Christian, and to close them down. And he has stated that in an article that he's written, in several articles. Now, what was distressing was, in fact, that my professional body didn't accept what we said, that in fact they saw him as a client, even though all the evidence was to the contrary. They wouldn't really look at the bigger picture. Well, that's not quite so true. They did look at the bigger picture. They said they did. But they dismissed it, which is distressing to me, that they accepted everything that this journalist said, even though it was very clear that he had told innumerable amount of lies in the situation. So I find that distressing. I have worked for 25 years, I've seen hundreds of people, thousands of sessions, I've never had any complaints at all, and yet my integrity was questioned, but they believed a person who was a proven and admitted liar. That's very distressing. For me personally, I feel my professional body has not supported me and has let me down. The other issue I found quite distressing is that, in fact, they questioned why people come to us as therapists. When they come to us to say that they're depressed and unhappy with their homosexuality, my professional body now wants me to question the very reason why they're coming. That, in fact, I've got to look at other reasons why they're depressed and unhappy, namely, it's because how society has traditionally treated those who are homosexual. Well, I find that disturbing, that, in fact, what they're basically saying is that people who come to us don't know why they're coming. They're putting together the fact that they're distressed with their homosexuality, but in fact we have to say to them, well, no, you don't know what you're talking about. Now, that is very disturbing. It's a very disturbing outcome. It's a very disturbing consequence. BACP want me there to have some retraining, and I have to see other people, and I have to write that in fact I have learnt to think differently. Well, I'm afraid that isn't appropriate, particularly if a Christian comes to me saying that they're distressed by the nature of their homosexuality and want me to help. That in fact, according to BACP guidelines, it's not formal guidelines, but of what they've said in the decision, that in fact that's not an appropriate way to work. Now, I find that very distressing and disturbing for how therapy is happening in our nation.